the stream. We've got the Thoth deck, in case you missed it. You can always watch the replays right here on Twitch. And once they expire, ain't that a bitch? What's the vibe? I'm like, you want to see some dark shit? It's just me, actually. I am the dark matter that I speak of. Dear Prudence, won't you come out to play? Dear Prudence, it's a brand new day. The sun is up, the sky is blue, it's beautiful, and so are you, dear Prudence. Won't you come out to play? We're gonna do some Divine Femme, Divine Mask readings, I bet. I bet. I have a feeling. Look around, round, round, round. Look around, round, round, round. Look around, round, round, round. Alright, I'm seeing it like we might take turns. I think this is the femme reading. I'm seeing a lot of the feminine cards. I'm not really seeing any masculines. I think we're going to do them separately. Yeah. We will get to him. Already shuffled, though. I'm not shuffling him anymore. It is like two different stories. There's no syncing right now. We're doing more Divine Femme, Divine Mask. So if that is you, Grammy King, you get your wish, basically. More on last night. The reason I was thinking it already because I saw the Queen of Wands on one side and a pile on the other side, and then the unicursal hexagram came up, so that's usually my first indication that it's going to be about the divine union. And I thought, okay, this one's the femme pile, this one's the mask pile, but then the Queen of Cups came out, and I realized this is just the femme reading. So this is going to be what the divine feminine's going through, and then we have Eight of Swords interference and the Knight of Swords. Okay, so that's when we're just going to switch to the masculine after these. And I think I'm just not going to shuffle the deck. It'll be cool. So what's going on with the feminine? I wish I could like stick the cards to the wall. That's going to be a really cool thing I do in the future when I figure out how to make sticky cards that can be restuck to things. Damn. Sucks when I say shit like that on the internet. What if somebody does it first? You heard it here. Okay, so in between these two piles, we have a face down card and we have a face up card. One pile next to the face up card has a face down card on top. The face down card has a face up card on top. And what I'm seeing here, again, this is going to be the femme perspective. This is going to be our ladies, our mothers, our wifeys, our, fairy creatures, or, assigned cat people, or anybody, water, earth signs. So Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, and Taurus, Virgo. I keep wanting to say Gemini, but Capricorn. So the femmes, right? We're seeing something, abundance. It's the Three of Cups, right? So we're seeing something, and there's this huge stack of cards here, but there's something face down on top. So, there's a couple things. So there's some roadblocks. There are some roadblocks, and it's like, I know that I have this, but I cannot see how I get it. I know I am abundant, but for some reason, it's not reaching me. There's something in the way, something blocking me. And on the other hand, you're seeing all this stuff and you're like, why is there, like, there is nothing. Doing all these things and yet, there's nothing. Let's see why it almost feels flip-flop. That's why when I saw this initially, I thought it was two different stories, but no, it's a divided feminine. Like your divine feminine is divided. It could be amongst two situations, or it could just be simultaneous things going on in life. That's kind of the tricky aspect of being human, is that you don't even have to be presented with options to still be making a decision. You don't have to do anything new to have a lot on your plate in a day. So the femme is not feeling out of balance necessarily, but I'm getting a sense of confusion. Um, I know I'm abundant. Why do I not have it yet? Versus if I am in union, why am I not there yet? If that makes sense. So, which one first? I feel like we should look at the union first, and then, although I keep talking about this abundance card, I feel like it's because it's so obvious, right? And it's almost like we need to get to this point first, this face down card, before we can reach its abundance. So yeah, we will start with the relationship side of things. We've got the unicursal hexagram. Okay, so this is what tips me off usually if it's going to be a DMDF thing. It's not like what I wanted to be into. It's just something that happened. Because that is what this represents. It's 6-pointed pentagram created by Aleister Crowley, designed for this deck to represent the divine unit. Underneath it, we have the Queen of Wands, a very passionate woman. She was in the reading earlier as well. Knowing how you feel, knowing where you stand, knowing where you sit, knowing where you want to be, and that you are in control of things, right? Remember, a sign cat at birth. See, she's not bugging around. But oh no. The Tower. My feelings were hurt. Or things are beyond my control. Or I'm not even sure where I am anymore. Or how did I get here? Crisis, midlife crisis kind of vibes. Maybe some big changes or just going through it in general. Like I said, there doesn't have to be big changes for things to be hard. You know, sometimes a lack of change can be something that drives people wild, but in some sense, things are beginning to fall apart. But there's some self-awareness that comes with the Tower, where you're not going to have a Tower moment if you can't handle it. If somebody is going through something like that and they can't handle it or don't get through it, then that was the Nine of Swords. That's not the Tower moment. The Tower moment, you kind of know. You saw it coming, you see how it unfolds, you watch it in real time. Doesn't necessarily mean you can do anything about it or it'll be a quick recovery, but you saw it coming. Princess of Cups. So now you're rethinking, right? You were feeling some type of way, you were really certain in this connection, you're in union with your person, the femme. But it all came crashing down, and now you're like, all right, you know what? I'm ready to start fresh here. I'm ready to see something from a new perspective. I'm ready to open up. Look at that. She's like, I'm ready to open up. I'm ready to come back. I'm ready to grow. I'm ready to see things from a new angle. I'm ready to approach this in a new way. Doesn't mean that she knows how. It could also represent a child where, like, if there was someone that if the femme and mask were apart and maybe the femme became, a mother in the time apart or something like that. It definitely seems like the Tower moment was bringing the fresh perspective, and we did talk about that in the last reading too, where it didn't feel as childlike energy as it usually does with the Prince and Princess of Cups, where this really feels like, okay, I'm seeing things from a new angle. And then what do you know? We have the Emperor. So the Emperor, masculine energy, right? This is Aries too, so fire. So the Queen of Wands, she's stepping into Emperor. She's not stepping into Empress. She's like, you know what? Things aren't working out. I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to go so hard on my, like, in and do it myself, that I become the masculine. Right? Wrong. Again, could be pregnant, but perspective, having to start over, think from a new angle. What is the solution? It almost feels like constantly looking for a solution, whether it's within the relationship or within the self, because again, it seems like the first card is the divine union, so that makes sense. But sometimes if we're looking at something like a twin flame connection, you're not always with that person. So, mind melting, mind bending moments. But look at this. The princess and prince of cups is surrounding the emperor. So maybe the masculine has children, or wants them. And there's some type of indecision or role reversal. Non-traditional, stereotypical, gender normative, whatever. It's like not like that. But also I think it's about thinking from a new perspective. I'm really getting that, like, developing one will develop the other. I'm hearing that for some reason. And then 3 of discs work. So it could be a family thing. It could be like 3 people in a family, some type of third party connection. But honestly, because this is usually money and this is a weird, like, twin flame reading, it just seems like could be third party again. We talked about that last night, or 3 children, or 3 people in a family, whatever it is. And the universe, things working out. Things just working out. So maybe you're creating problems in your relationship. Maybe you're stressed that you'll never come back to this person. But it's all working out. I don't even want to call it divine timing. It's the universe, It's like what's meant to be will be. And you must come to terms with that. Must come to terms with that. 4 of Swords, truths. Like, this is about, like, really making agreements with even the self, because then we have Princess of Wands, starting the journey all over again. So what if it doesn't work out? You have to tell yourself it won't. You have to tell yourself there's things in the way, there's other people. It doesn't matter what the reason is. How are you going to handle it when it doesn't? Because we started as the Queen of Wands, and we saw how she got knocked off her throne. And at the end of the day, you have to be okay with the idea of heartbreak if you ever want to be in love. Period. There's no way around it. That is simply put, it is what it is. You have to be okay with heartbreak and the worst case scenarios, because honestly, even if it lasts forever, there's an end to that. Isn't there? And some people would prefer to spend their whole life searching than actually commit to something that could break them. Get broken. Let it break you. Maybe it'll come back together someday. Love is much more complicated than being feeling. Love is kind of an action word, right? When you love someone, it's a verb, but love itself is also an abstract concept that is as ancient, if not more ancient, than humans themselves. Love is a noun, right? And to say that it's happy all the time would be incorrect. To say that it's fun all the time would be incorrect. To say it's smart all the time would be incorrect. It's a gamble at best, and a loss at worst. So, gotta be willing to get up and try again no matter what happens. So yes, Queen was knocked off her throne, but Princess said, I'm going to get back up there and I'm going to take this cat with me. And someday I'll get control of it again and have these emotions for someone else then. Could be an unexpected breakup or something. Or like I said, it's some kind of like the person has kids or whatever's going on with the feminine. You just have to be okay with any outcome. And be willing to try again, whether it's trying again with the same person, trying dating again, trying to love again, opening yourself up to what it is to be in divine presence and on a certain frequency that will align you with the partners that you dream of having rather than the partners that you're used to getting. And then what is revealed once this process is finished, once you get through the emotional stuff and you're willing to try again and you sit with your heartbreak and you understand why it had to happen that way and you move towards something even better, even if it means you fall harder, even if it's hard to put back together. As long as you're willing to do it, it shall be done. Most people are not willing. What is it though? Is it love or just some dick? That's fine. But it's controlling the emotions, being a master of emotions. Ace of Wands, having it central, in control. Being able to wrangle the passion, so to speak. So Three of Cups, abundance. So once you get a hang on the emotions and go through those processes and understand that everything is what it is, then here we go. We move into this abundance phase. We're headed towards more life outside the relationship at this point, but there is some blockages, and underneath it, it's Eight of Discs, prudence. You got to be true to who you are. At the end of the day, if you really want to bring these blessings towards you, the only way it's going to happen is when you are your full unabashed self. It's when you are the most pure version of you, when you are who you are, not who you've had to be, not who this person wants you to be, not who you think you're supposed to be, but who you are. Who you are. Adjustment. Sure, people may not like it. They're going to have to get fucking used to it. It could be a Libra that you're dealing with. It could be a process that takes the next few months because this is an 8 and this is Libra. So it could be something that you start to see in Libra season where things are finally falling into place in that emotional process that you're going through, whether it's heartbreak or acceptance of any fate. Then, it could be something like that. You find out later. And we have the Priestess, so you kind of know how things happen, even when you don't know them. Or, once again, come Libra season, you're going to just all of a sudden get it. You're going to know what to do. You're going to understand the path better, right? You're going to look back and be like, so confused, because you won't even identify with what you were going through now. And how it took you so long to get to this other side of like, damn, I was right. Like, I was right. Like, okay, it doesn't have to be a good feeling. It's not always a good feeling being right. Sometimes we want people to prove us wrong. Sometimes we might have a notion that we really don't want to believe, and that can be hard because, sorry, I got a little distracted. I heard a sound. I was trying to figure out where it was coming from. It's odd because if the phone is ringing, and so somebody calls you, or maybe somebody's gonna call you, the femme may call, or if you are the femme, maybe someone's gonna call. Someone's getting a call. But by Libra season, you'll kind of know more on this situation, or just what to do, or how to move forward, or who the person, or how the situation kind of resolves. 4 Cups, luxury, right? If this pile started with abundance and we're moving up in cups, luxury is the next step to abundance. So things are always looking up. But Prince of Swords, of course, there will still be challenges. There will still be hiccups along the way, and people swinging swords and cutting ties and fucking you up, slashing tires, whatever the fuck. Little bit of chaotic energy, a little bit of air energy. But you've got it on lock, you've got the bag secured. You've got you're grounded, centered, whatever. You've got this. Ace of Discs. And 7 of Swords, futility. Okay, so there's no point, not just of resisting it, but there's also no point in putting effort into it. Because some things that are fated are fated. And whether or not you believe in fate is definitely up to you. But you have to ask yourself what has transpired, or what moments in life you could pass as purely coincidence when everything has led you up to your greatest moment. Leap of faith. Ooh, only thing to do is jump over the moon. You cannot put effort in, you cannot take effort out. There's nothing you can do. The situation is pretty much locked in. They want you. They want you. Lust, Leo energy, obsession, physical attraction. It's not quite love, but maybe you don't know each other yet. They want you. I want you so bad. It's driving me mad. It's driving me mad. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Empress. That's the thing. The feminine was trying to be the emperor. But now, Empress. And who's this? 10 of discs. That abundance. It's going to be a long process. It's not even hard work. That's what's funny about seeing this femme story right now is it seems like the common theme is do nothing. Because the more you do feminine, the less productive you get. It's about letting women lead this year, but part of a woman is her intuition. And again, this is feminine, it's not just women. We're not. Come on. We know where we are, right? The feminines. It's about us leading this year and, being in our energy. But at the same time, it's going to take a lot of doing and being just you rather than working or applying pressure, applications, whatever. This is just you effortlessly finally bringing it towards you because you are ready to, because you allow things to fall apart in the way that they do. And you can just see how things will go. As you know, we love to see it. At the end of the day, the Empress is paid. At the end of the day, the Empress is paid. At the end of the day, the Empress is paid. At the end of the day, the Empress is paid. That's my new mantra. Or is it my new hook? I don't know. Okay. That took a lot out of me. I'm not even going to lie. And I feel like it's a quiet night. I don't even know if I feel like giving the mask a reading. I might just call it early. I'm debating. This was so far from dark shit. That's so funny that I even said that. It's not even dark. I love that though. So misleading. I don't love that it's misleading, but it is funny to me. And also wherever I channel from perhaps comes from a place of darkness as death teaches me so many things about life that life could never even conceptualize about death. It's beautiful, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, I'm a little tired. I feel like, yes, y'all deserve it, but honestly, I might just drop this one off and try to do another one at another time. I'm a bit sleepy, but I am having a good hair day. I just shuffled a bunch of my cards face up into my deck and I'm sorting through them as I decide whether or not to end this video and call it a night or give the masks what they deserve. I'll contemplate this. Okay, I'm back, and I will do a quick Divine Mask reading before I go. Kind of glad it's quiet because it's good to get these things out. But I'm done for the evening and maybe even the weekend. The week? It's barely the weekend, lady. Okay. Oh, I shuffled the damn cards, didn't I? And I said I wasn't gonna. Well, I guess that's it. I'll just pull them, right? Yeah, okay. I kind of like what I'm seeing here. I like what I'm seeing here. The masculine is juggling. Not necessarily people. Could be, but because there has been a lot of talk about a third party situation. But what I'm seeing really in the masculine, just just based on how the cards came out, is kind of anxiety about this union or their current union. That's the thing when there is a divine partnership. It's often tumultuous. So I'm seeing like all these cards came out by twos, and I'm looking at them like, these do look a bit opposite. The masculine is more or less fidgeting. He's anxious. He is fire and air signs, by the way, or just the man, the father. Tired. You're making yourself tired. And the masculine is making himself tired because he's thinking about all these things. And it's not just like typically having a lot on your mind. This is like excessively thinking about it. Not obsessive because it's not the lust card, but we did just end on the lust card. And even though I shuffled, we didn't get any of these cards in the fem reading, so it actually still worked out the way I wanted it to, where I didn't repeat any of the cards. Man, masculines, you're overthinking it. Aren't you supposed to be the one to put your best foot forward? Aren't you supposed to be the one to reach out? Isn't that a man's job? No, we're talking masculines. Yeah, fire signs. Aren't you bold? Air signs, aren't you fearless? Like, no matter what the feminine and masculine situation is for you, masculines, wake up, smell the coffee, and realize you have to make the first move. You absolutely have that one out. You have to make the first moves. It's just plain and simple. You do. And trust me, I'm all about shooting my shot. But here's the thing. Feminine's shit wasn't looking too hot. And yours really isn't either. But the thing is, you are more hung up about it. I don't think the feminine's thinking about it quite as in depth as you. I think that the feminine's life is being more affected, right? The feminine is putting in all the work and going through the motions and trying to fix the self before coming into this union so that they can have a successful relationship with their divine counterpart. If it's someone who's already in a relationship, then it can be work within those bounds and still coming out and having a more positive relationship, right? Whatever it is, the feminine's working on the self and not thinking about it that much. It's not that they don't have feelings for you or don't believe in the connection. It's just that it's not on the forefront as much as you might want it to be. And you obsessing about it might bring it to the forefront for them. But there is this sense of like no resolution because they're not really sure how or why to approach it. They don't know where they're coming from at this time because they are working on themselves. You can go back and watch the beginning if you're just tuning in. But nah, come on. The feminine is focused on themselves in a way that they want to be ready for you, right? But they're not yet. And you, masculines, are not either. thinking about this excessively. You're doing way too much, but you're not even making any actions. You're not making any movements. You're literally just thinking about it. And I can tell because in your mind, you're going through these contemplations. To start, we have the 9 and the 6. 69. But side by side, we have the 9 of discs and the 6 of cups. So what is this? Gain and pleasure. So the masculine's going through all these random scenarios on this or that, this but that, this and that, yes but no, stop but go. It's that kind of vibe of like, yes, but here we are in contemplation. Maybe this is a really wonderful feeling, and I really want to go towards this passion, especially the yonic energy of the 6 of cups. Like, yes, let's do it, but also, maybe I need to be focused on my money right now. Maybe I just need to go back to work. Maybe I just need to invest in my career. Maybe I'm meant to get a promotion instead of have a relationship. Pleasure versus gain. Like, are we going finances? Or are we going emotions, passions, feelings, whatever, romance? Next, contemplation. We have the Ace of Swords and Death. Death can be a Scorpio, but it's also like water and air. But, I always say that the Ace of Swords is like picking and choosing your battles, and this is the chosen battle, right? So it's like, do I go all in? Do I put in some effort? Do I do this? Or do I just let it go? Let it die. Just forget it. Just let it be over. Not revisit it, not open it back up. Or do I just take that step and make that jab and just say, boop. And yes, if you are the one thinking it, then you need to do it or it will die. Masculines, that's the thing. Once again, the feminine is staying in her lane. You might be on her mind. It's not as in-depth or as troublesome on their end, basically. So if you want it this badly, where you are going through I'm not even done here. Like, going through all these scenarios in your head and contemplations. It's really a this or that kind of like guessing game. And it's like, why are you putting yourself through that? Why are you even putting yourself through that? Just say it. Just do it. We have the 7 of discs, failure, and the 4 of discs, power. So it's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's like, man, I could have everything or I could lose everything. I am gonna feel like I missed this opportunity the rest of my life, or what if it's the most amazing thing ever? And it's like, why are you even playing that scenario? What if it costs me? But what if I gain? Not gain, but like, what if I'm empowered? What if it empowers me? What if it costs me, but what if it empowers me? What if it lifts me? What if it brings me down? Man. Is this Princess of Discs a worthy investment, or is this fake magic? Is this feeling mutual? Is this person feeling as intensely as I am? How do I know it's real? Versus, do I plant this seed? Do I make this move? Do I send this text? Do I make this call? Do I ask them out? Do I invest in the situation? Do I spend money? Do I buy a gift? Or is this just me making it up? Am I making this all up? And of course, man, these masculines are a fucking mess about this right now. And I know it's about that because the 2 of fucking wands is the top of the deck and the Fool is the bottom. So this is a new journey in love and relationships, domestication, partnership, 2 feelings coming together as one. Could be an ex also, could be tender, could be whatever, but it's a journey and you're on it, and the masculines are fucking not doing well. The feminines are being more challenged, but they're handling the challenges and moving along. But at the same time, the masculines are like not really even understanding what the challenge is and just fixating on something that's not the problem when they have the solution. It's weird energy. But at the end of the day, look, we got the Sun and we got the 5 of Cups. Disappointment. It could be everything I've ever wanted and more and be my happy ending and happily ever after. Or I might just be disappointed. So, you're just not going to go for it just because you might be disappointed. just because it might cost you money, just because you might invest in the wrong person. But on the off chance that it's the right person, it's everything you've ever dreamed of. So why would you hold yourself back, even if you are taking a risk? The only real risk that you're taking is break. I think you can handle a little bit of that. You've been through worse pains, have you not? And if you haven't, does that not make love the most insane thing you have ever felt? The everything object, the verb, the noun. It's the devil. It is the devil. Capricorn energy. Could be dealing with a Capricorn. I smacked the mic. I was so shook by this card. For reasons unknown. But it's not the best thing to see. It could be a Capricorn, but because this is a general reading, I usually stray away from being a specific sign that you're dealing with, especially in such the broad sense of these types of unions where this isn't like a love deck. It's going on in this world. This is intense connections that may have not even be brought together. Could be addiction standing in the way. It could be like this attraction that the masculine, that the last card came up in the feminine reading, and that's obsession and attraction. This might be getting out of control for the masculine. And even though Capricorn is a feminine sign, what is this? Indolence. Laziness or loneliness. It could also represent drinking, because that's what I was getting at. Even though Capricorn is technically a feminine sign because it's an earth element, this is a straight up dick. It's a dick. I know that our masculines are not representing only men, but come on, man, this is definitely aligning with the masculine, especially because we left off the feminines reading with like, yes, the masculine's definitely attracted to you. And after we've seen what's going on in their heads, this back and forth, what if that, what if this, what if that, it's rather intense. It's like the obsession is turning into possession. They're almost getting to this point of like, if I can't have you, no one will have you, but I don't know if I want you, so still no one can have you. What? I don't know. Doing some witchcraft. I don't know what y'all doing, but these masculines, not a good energy, man. This is your reading after all. That's why we're also not putting it on the fem. So we've got like many reasons why this is y'all's energy right now. It's like you might need to cut back on some of your vices, especially if you're so fucking concerned. Being interested in a person is going to cost you so much financially that you won't be able to afford anything anymore. Maybe stop buying cigarettes, stop buying booze, stop, smoking so much weed. Cut corners. You don't need brand new clothes every time you go shopping, right? Stop spending so much money. Cut back on the vices. You could be a big spender or a big drinker or something like that, where it's like, no, there's definitely a little more to the story than just being scared about risking whatever and being worried that someone's a gold digger or something like that. Like, nah, there's a reason you're broke. There's a reason you're broke. It's not a fear of commitment. It's not a fear of this person. It's not irresponsible. It's probably addiction. It's possessive qualities towards the other person, but also possessiveness with the self. My goodness, even with things, money, drugs, bitches, liquor, doesn't matter. So, not a good look. Not a good look. Hanged man, you sure are fixated on it, though. You sure are dedicated. We talked about last night. An immovable object meets an unstoppable force. The feminine is the unstoppable force. She's had her moment. She got back up. She's learning. She's doing it again. She's getting her heart broken. She's getting back up. She's loving more. She's becoming how she is both of y'all in one, but then realizes that's a big job. Doesn't really want to do that. Semi-interested in a counterpart, but at the same time, doesn't think it's you yet. Still thinking of you. Still thinking of a counterpart. Didn't, because y'all are kind of a mess. Y'all kind of act like dicks. Why the fuck would they be interested? But you masculine or dedicated. You are willing to give up too much for this connection, for someone who's being 444, a little shy about how they're feeling. If it's that intense, you need to kind of tell the other person, especially if it's a no contact thing or if it's like a long time thing where you've been thinking about this for too long. It's not that you think about it too much, it's like you've been thinking about it for too long. And it's time that you just get over it and do something. So that if it is, great. If it isn't, gone. Period. You can't just daydream and be with fairies all the time about someone. It's not healthy because when you think about someone so much, they will start thinking about you. And while it could seem genuine, it's also like, I don't know, dude, you probably planted that seed in their head. It's sort of just the law of nature as we've come to understand it, where magnets attract or energy is flowing and could connect us all potentially. If you get even deeper into it, you might think of a string theory and how we can all be connected, but it's all vibrations. So your vibrations send off to someone else's. So again, if you are constantly thinking about someone, regardless of how you're thinking about them, whether it's good or bad, or whether you really are just trying to be so certain in your decisions, you're still thinking about them a lot. So you got to chill out on that. You have to bring it down. You got to put something else in your mind, or if you are going to fixate on this person, it needs to be more on how can I be the person I need to be to call this into my reality? Say that shit again, masculines. How can I be the person I need to be to call this into my reality? Because you cannot just obsessively think about someone until they show up, because when they show up, they're going to be irritated. Because you won't know what to say. It's going to actually feel kind of embarrassing. Where you're like, damn, I wasn't really expecting you to be here, even though I couldn't stop thinking about it for days, weeks, months on end. Maybe years is what for some of you. So, art, take a break, but also create about it. Put that passion into purpose. Instead of pining or longing over a crush, make that person your muse at the very least, so that you have a way to those frustrations and energies other than just obsessive masturbation, quite frankly. It's all magic. Be careful, because that shit will backfire if you're being unconscious, especially because y'all are casting doubt. You're like giving it your high hopes and all your doubts. And the feminines learn to be neutral with all outcomes. Right? Going as she's guided, and yet knowing that even if that way seems to be the wrong way, she can turn around and go a different direction. The masculines are not at that point. They're like, oh my God, it is all or nothing. And it's like, maybe it is. You gotta deal with that. You gotta take the chance. Sometimes the cards ain't worth the time if you don't lay them down. Voice is going out. It's getting later. Oh my God, my singing and they're gone. 2 discs change. This will change. This will change. These 2 things on your mind at all times. These contrasting energy, contrasting thoughts. It will change, and things will start to make sense. You will step up and be your full masculine self. Knight of Cups, being compassionate, coming forward with an offer. You see that cup is extended out. You're coming back for the feminine, knowing what you want and saying, hey, this is who I am. I'm fulfilled in myself. My cup is full. Allow me to fill yours. If yours is not already full, if it is, let's drink. Let us just cherish, relax, and drink. Come along the way and need us to fill them up, then we can help each other do that. And that's the energy you need to be in if you want that Queen of Wands, right? Knight of Cups, Queen of Wands. Knight of Discs. No, Knight of Swords, Queen of Discs. I love that. Otherwise, you'd be stuck in the middle of it. You'd be stuck in the indecision. You'd be stuck in that spot on the scale where you're too scared to go towards one end or the other, and you just sit there and look at it all. And that's hard. That's harder than heartbreak is to never know. And I learned that the long way. I learned that the really long way. Now I'm willing to get my heart broken over anything and anybody. I would put myself, my life, my love, my feelings on the line if I feel it's worth it in that moment in time. Even if it was often and sometimes and often lead to heartbreak. Gotta be willing to do it. Just get a taste, that's life. But maybe it's because I don't do drugs. Yes, yes. Queen of Swords. Put in that effort. She's worth it. If you give a little, she will give a lot. With feminine and masculine. If you make the first move, she will definitely respond. She will definitely come back with another move. She might rough you up a bit, a little bit of questioning, like where you've been. You might not be on the same page from the very jump because you have decided this and she's just working on herself. She didn't decide about you just because she was curious about you kind of thing. But other than that, 2 of Cups and 10 of Cups, love and safety, man. At the end of the day, once you get to this certain point where you really truly accept and realize how important this connection is or how divine a union can be, you will see that this is everything. Love and satiety. Is everything that you could possibly want and more. I hear you. 6 of Swords signs. It's already worked out. It's already worked out. Ace of Cups. Right? That's good. I think I don't need to keep drawing from the top. Oh, got a little chunk. And a split. 4 Swords again, truce, and still the Fool. Princess of Swords, little interruption, little interference. Knight of Swords could become a bigger problem. The Eon, some judgment, could be some kind of whatever difference among the people in this union where there's outside judgment or whatever this conflict that grows into a bigger issue is, it could cause some judgment from your person. But then there will still be success. Like you will close out some of these cycles of things, you kind of work through them. It's almost the feminine comes in with this Queen of Swords presence and kind of like, whoa, I'm a little defensive. It's a little random. You came out of nowhere, but I'm a little also receptive to it because I've been working on myself, feeling and understand why you would feel that way. I'm open to it. However, I might bring up a whole bunch of shit, even though I'm okay now. I'm okay now. I'm okay now. But, don't want to call it petty energy, but the Princess of Swords is petty energy. So it's like the Queen of Swords shows up ready to work. There's still some unresolved stuff that even if you can work past it, you've got to be able to handle it. Knight of Swords. You cannot respond to the Princess of Swords with the Prince of Swords or you're not going to get anywhere. You have to rise up and realize the Queen of Swords is still there. And that's who approached you. It's like, yes, I remember. Thank you for bringing it up. Can we move past it now? Can we forgive us? Right? The answer, yes. 6 of discs, success. More people. Finally got a tray. Too many plates. Everybody's fed. It's great. Love it. Love it. I love it. That's cool. Yeah, so it's nice that you are here. For sure. I don't know if it seems like you kind of came in late. So you can go back and watch the feminine was the first half and the masculine was the second half, which I also honestly thought would be shorter and seemed to be a little more in depth because the masculine is struggling as it is a feminine year and they have been in the lead for some time. Yeah, I don't like games so much. You must be true to your heart. I have some fucking Disney songs, but it's not. It sounds like it would be the Tarzan soundtrack, but it definitely isn't. It's where you're true. What is that? That is like a cheesy fucking bop. Maybe it is the Tarzan soundtrack, but it just seems like In My Heart and Stay True to Your Heart being on the same. Come on, you guys did not put both those songs in the same movie. That would be. Yeah. how I was gonna go. Like, it was quiet night. I've been going for about an hour. I'm like, I'm content with this. But yeah, this is a bonus. I'm on a few just feel out the vibe in the room. Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So, like I said earlier, this card definitely, like, to me, is about picking and choosing your battles, and this is your chosen battle. But it's also representing knowledge coming. So you might be getting clarity on this situation where I just told you more about this than you knew. Now, this is more general. This is not femme or mask, but for these random few cards that I just pulled. But we have the Magician and the Three of Wands of Virtue. So just make sure what you're doing is what you want to do, regardless of which side you're on. If you are obsessively contemplating it, if you are working on yourself so hard you think you'll never get it, whether you're the mask or the femme, the fire, or the other elements, whatever you are doing and whatever you're working on and whatever magic you're creating is of your own volition and is not of someone else or without intention or, again, it's this what you think you should do, societal pressure, right? Traditional pressure. You have to create the life that you want to live, because otherwise, like, what the fuck is the point? You're doing it again. Oh, I wouldn't take it from a time traveler. I fucking wouldn't. Okay, do it this time. Do it now, man. You don't want to come back. It's worse and worse every fucking time. Okay, so make sure what you're focused on and what you're creating and what you're manifesting, what you're imagining and daydreaming is actually aligning with your soul's purpose and not just with your life on the outside, but your life within, your life from above, your life that at the end of the day can't be your brain necessarily, right? Knight of Discs. Been showing up a lot. So the breadwinner, maybe walking away from things that you need to get away from or walking towards things that you're manifesting. Finally, right? Nope, that's the opposite direction. Right, so maybe, halting. That's funny. I have not been feeling Pisces energy. But the Knight of Discs, no, he is walking towards when I set him down on the table. Yeah, so going towards what you're manifesting. And right behind you, going in the right direction, is a bunch of change, just huge change, most likely in finances and in Knight of Cups, so, and within the self. Where you were once focused on money, you are now focused on fulfillment. Where you were once focused on finances, you're now focused on abundance. You were once focused on material things, you are now finding your spiritual lane, right? So there will be a huge change that comes with you aligning yourself with your life, because most people have one or the other down, right? I got myself down. I do not have my life down. My life is, whew, you don't want to know, and I don't want to tell you. I am like a hybrid strain. Thank you. I love that. And some people really have their life together, but then they don't know who they are, right? And so once you get those two things aligned and in check and on the same page and working together, it all will flourish and unfold for you. 10 of Discs, once again, wealth, money coming in. Queen of Cups, matching that Knight of Cups energy. Very parental, I should say. Maternal and paternal, but parental energy. But also, again, it's about having the right perspective and attitude about things and knowing that even if it doesn't work out, it was worthy of your time and your love and your energy. Fulfillment. Wish fulfillment, life fulfillment, purpose fulfillment, career fulfillment, like familial fulfillment. 4 Swords again, truce. And indolence, that's interesting. Right at the end of the day, you have to make peace with the way people are. Indolence, I think, is what I thought was loneliness, but is actually laziness, where as beautiful as this connection sounds, as beautiful as this thing could be, as beautiful as its potential is, can't happen if nobody makes a move. Can't happen if nobody does anything. I almost feel like the feminine might not have a way to contact you anymore. Doesn't have your number, moved away, doesn't know where you are. Like maybe you left them on a bad note or something, and you are contemplating and you're thinking about it so much, and you're like, well, if it was real, then they would message me, or they would come to me. And the masculine's ego is like, yeah, this is totally, even though I'm the one who wants it, they should come to me to prove it's real. And it's like, how does that make any sense? Why don't you see what happens when you go towards it? You know, it's not all about a chase. It's not that anyone just universally wants what they can't have. Some people absolutely are far from that mentality. And it's not that anything is right or wrong. It's that some people have evolved out of that phase of life and love, where the chase has very little appeal. There's a certain amount of teasing, sure. But chasing? God, no. I chase kids around all day. I'm sorry. I am not trying to chase your ass, too. Come on. Be forward. Be direct. If it bothers you that much, right? And femmes, be nice when they come towards you, because it took a lot of contemplation and a lot of deliberation for them to actually come towards you. But yeah, I mean, if no one makes a move, no one makes a move. Can be a stubborn, petty off, whatever, but it can be, sure. But like, again, if this is sort of like a having no contact thing, or if it's been a long time thing, or this is at the bottom of the deck, you better hope nobody's pregnant. But you got to have a new perspective. Silence is so powerful, sure, but words can be powerful too, and even actions. Why are you not standing outside of her bedroom window with the boombox playing in your eyes? I'm sorry, did John Cusack set too high of a standard? It was 40 years ago. You couldn't come up with anything better. New ideas, new perspective. Maybe it's like, okay, maybe here's the thing. Maybe it's not about the person you think it is. Maybe that's the problem. You know, maybe there's someone you're leaving out. Maybe you're the feminine, you know. Could be anything. Lust, once again, there's some obsession, but it actually works out. It's like the obsession is trying to lead you to your happiness, to the life you're meant to be at Taurus energy. So if that's like, oh shit, there is a Taurus or something like that, then yeah, that might be the person. If not this other one that you are dealing with, but someone that you're connected to. That's the whole gig. Wheel of Fortune, things start working out in your favor. But 5 of Discs, worry, right? Always gotta be. And 10 of Swords, ruin. Yeah, silence is powerful. You could lose it all. That's the power of silence. Say nothing, says enough. Oof, I got a wave of kind of sleepy. I think I am gonna go. That was fun. Yeah, I think you probably should. Ghosting is really weird, you know. But I've been friends with a lot of my exes because I don't really get into relationships with people, so it's very easy to attach and detach and just adapt the relationship rather than cancel it completely. So I guess I'm just different. And tired. Bottom of the deck, Ace of Discs. The bag is secured. The money's in your hands. The power is yours. And yes, break the ice. It's the least you could do. Even if the femme isn't ready, maybe she'll approach you next time. But alright, thank you for joining me. You can watch the reruns. I did Femin Mask readings tonight. A few extra draws. Did some chit-chat bullshitting about how America sucks earlier. You can watch all the replays, and I will be back. Yeah, I guess. I will be back soon, but I honestly do not know when. It could be later today or tomorrow. could be a while. It depends. So, thank you for tuning in. You can catch the replay and see the full reading. I think it was really good, and I really hope it helps somebody. And I noticed I kept biting my tongue. So I would say my final bit of advice, literally it's only been since I started this reading. I'd hold back. If you are going to reach out and talk to them, I would hold back a little bit with what you say to initiate the breaking of the ice. A simple happy birthday, a simple hello, a simple I'm sorry it's been so long. Is it okay if we talk? Can I call you? Do you care? Do you know who I am? Are you there? God, it's me, Margaret. Okay? So be cautious, hold back a little, but also, know that you're building up to spill your guts, right? You want to profess this love. You want to commit to this romance. You want this once in a lifetime bullshit, but you got to work your way up. Approach softly and kindly, even if you're bringing a package, okay? You got baggage, you got package. Okay. You should definitely come back and rewatch this because I went into this whole kind of tangent about how you have to embrace heartbreak in order to fall in love. I think you'll like it. Watch the femme perspective. But I am going to bed. I love you all so much. Thank you for tuning in. And like I said, I'm sorry that I don't know when I'll be back. Hopefully I'll wake up motivated enough to at least do something. Fairly well. Until I see you again, I'll be in hell. Thanks. Love you.